Before we begin, I would like to discuss the ethics of bone collecting, regardless of magical purposes or simply just out of curiosity. Bones should never be collected for the sole purpose of their use. There is a universal law in nature where one is only to kill whenever it is necessary for the continuation of your life, a life for a life, if you will. While it's quite common for animals to kill with pleasure, such as a dog playing with a mouse, or a cat killing a bird and leaving it on your doorstep, but the end result is always meant to be eaten, whether by themselves or someone else, or out of protection. An animal is never to be killed solely for the use of its bones. To do so is to curse the person who takes part of this animal. The whole animal needs to be used and respected. If you were to kill for food, repurposing the bones, the pelts, and such would be to honor this animal by using all of its parts and making sure none of it goes to waste. And those that do, you return to the earth. You bless the earth with the remainders of this creature. Now, there are a few different uses that bones have. Bones can be used in divination with the accompaniment of ancestor magic and ancestor worship. I don't believe you can practice bone magic and bone divination without the use of ancestor magic or ancestor worship, seeing as how these bones are used to communicate through the life of another. There is another use for bones in witchcraft and the occult, which is to use it in transformation or shape-shifting, if you will. This isn't a literal shape-shifting, but rather a mental one in which you take part in this animal. You use its bones, its essence, to sort of take part in its spirit and travel as you would as this animal. It's very important to note the laws of the bones in your country. For instance, where I live, most feathers and birds of really any part of the birds in general aren't legal. The bones that I have, of course, were gathered ethically, and they were either gifted to me, I found them, or they were bought. These bones here that I've just put out, these belonged to a turkey. And this turkey, it's got a little leaf on it actually. It belonged to a friend of mine who raised turkeys and chickens and the such, and it was eaten by a fox. We assume it was a fox. And so these bones were left out to bleach in the sun, and they were gifted to me. These bones here, these were the toe bones of a timber wolf. Very common, not rare. And this bone, I actually don't know what it belongs to, but it was found on the side of the road. And it was the first piece that I'd ever found. Now, when it comes to divination, there are things that are called bones that aren't necessarily bones, like little pieces of jewelry, pine cones, half of a shell. This beautiful ring. It was a sort of heirloom to a family that married in, and we considered them family, and it was gifted to me. These are also considered bones in a divination set, which is what this is. Now, the bones that you use for craft and the bones that you use for decoration are kept separate, and they are unique in the way that you treat them. See, when you use a bone for divination or for really any type of magical purpose, you need to calm the spirit. You cleanse them, you sing to them, and you anoint them with special oils. You calm the spirit of the animal that has died. If you know how it died, you can soothe it in that way, such as being eaten. You calm it. You let it know that it is safe. You let it know that it's free of harm, and you try and ease its pain in its passing. And sometimes things won't go according to plan, and the animal will be too angry, in which case you shouldn't use those bones, but rather allow the animal to rest or return it to the earth. Especially if bones have been acquired by nefarious means. They don't tend to like to be used. Now, you also have to feed your bones. You can do this by giving them oil or tobacco. And this basically just keeps your bones and the animal inside of them what's the word I'm looking for? Nourished. It's a very beautiful thing. I'll do another video on the casting of bones, but today I just wanted to talk a little bit about them. They're quite lovely. Bones can be bought from a butcher or found out in your yard, or bought online from ethical buyers, ethical sellers, things and the such. Always make sure to check your local laws. Some things are legal to have, some things aren't legal to have, some things are only legal under certain circumstances. Be safe and respect your animals.